This is the AM News. Welcome to the program, everyone. Now let's get into the details. The Electoral Commission is defending its procurement processes after receiving backlash from IMANI Africa. The Commission insists its procurement processes were done through competitive bidding through the Public Procurement Authority and the Finance Ministry. Addressing the press earlier, the Electoral Commission Chair, Jean Mensah, added that the budgets for the procurement of EVDs were scrutinized by Parliament, maintaining that their procurement process were not done in secrecy. The EC also claimed not to have been aware by IMANI Africa's petition to CHRAJ against the Commission.
And we know that procurement usually would go under the Public Procurement Authority. It doesn't go, we do not seek parliamentary approval to procure. It is true that we defend our budgets with a special budget committee of Parliament. And before our budgets are approved, we have these extensive discussions with the honorable members of the special budgets committee before approval. But when it comes to procurement, we get approvals mainly from the Public Procurement Authority and the Central Tender Review Committee of the Ministry of Finance. So I can assure you that the Commission has abided strictly by the law in all procurements that it has done from 2018 to date. You go through the appropriate agencies, be it the PPA, or you can go through the Central Tender Review Committee, as the case may be. And that has been done, and there's documentation to that effect.
The cost of registering a new voter has reduced from $13 per head to $7. Briefing the media on arrangement ahead of the limited voter registration exercise beginning today, Jean Mensah said they expect to register 623,000 new voters from May 7th to May 27th.
With the figure 623,000, per the census report of 2020, 450,000 people turn 18 years every year. And so are you aware that in 2020 we held voter registration? So if you start counting from 2021 to 2024, you arrive at a figure of 1.8 million persons turning 18 years every year. And in the last registration exercise, we managed to register some 910,000 of the 1.8, and it leaves us with a figure of 890,000 persons who are yet to register. We all know that we cannot expect all 890,000 persons, at our registration centers. We cannot have all of them come. And so what we've done is to use 70% of that 890,000. And that gives us the figure of 623,000 that we've put there.
The National Democratic Congress in the Savlelugu constituency of the Northern Region have warned they will not sit aloof and allow the New Patriotic Party bus people for the limited registration exercise. The NDC said they have uncovered a plot by the NPP to bus people from other parts of the region to register in the limited registration exercise. Addressing a press conference in Savlelugu, the communication officer of the part of Nyaba Abbas Abdul Rahman said they will resist any attempt to have foreigners decide who to represent them in Parliament.
The Electoral Commission is set to begin its limited registration exercise, voter transfer and voter ID cards replacement between the 7th of May and 15th of June. But ahead of the exercise, the National Democratic Congress in the Savlelugu constituency is raising red flags. It is accusing the NPP of a deliberate attempt to disrupt the exercise by busing people to the area to register. The communications officer in Yaba Abbas Abdul Rahman disclosed this at a press conference.
Of sad and unhealthy political discourse, hearing and picking up signals purported to be plans being advanced by some unscrupulous members of the New Patriotic Party NPP in this particular constituency to us. We are as well picking signals that they are also going to have another plan, or those plans have already been advanced, towards once again rebalancing people, especially when it comes to moment of voter transfers.
He also accused the NPP of plotting to register minors.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is very sad and unfortunate development we are picking from the NPP fraternity once again, that there is equally one purported plan again, and this time round there is an attempt on the part of the NPP fraternity and their camp to once again see how best they can turn the impossibility to become possibility. And this is manifested and reflects on the fact that they are madly interested in the pursuit of registering what we call minors in this particular impending nationwide limited registration exercise. We are cautioning them that members of the NDC in the civil constituency, we are indeed peace-loving, committed members of the Ghanaian society and Ghanaian public. We will not and we shall not sit aloof and watch on for them to perpetrate such an illegality, because it will end up becoming a frown on our democratic credentials.
Mr. Abbas said there is a deliberate plan to disrupt the exercise in the Saviligu constituency.
The MPP in our dear constituency is said to have once again advanced plans towards an absolute disruption of the impending limited nationwide registration process. How can you say you love Ghana? How can you say you are a Ghanaian patriot? Then you have an advanced plan in the hidden towards scaring away people from exercising their constitutional legitimate right. Indeed, we have been duly and formally informed that they are inviting what we call well-built men, popularly known in the Ghanaian parlance as macho men, so that they will station them at the polling centers or at the registration center for purposes of scaring away membership of the NDC.
And now to the EC missing laptops. A Dansoman Circuit Court has granted a conditional bail of 20,000 Ghana cedis with two sureties to all four persons accused of stealing laptops belonging to the Electoral Commission. The four, Philip Tete, a 26-year-old labourer, Benjamin Fianyi, a security man, and Clifford Yeboah, were in the dock on Monday with Joseph Blackstone Adumaje, a 37-year-old database administrator at the Electoral Commission, who is already on bail. Having failed to furnish the defense with charge sheets, caution statements and facts, the judge granted bail with very little resistance from the prosecutor. There's more in the following report.
The three other suspects who were in police custody prior to Monday's trial showed up in court handcuffed together. They were joined in the dock by Joseph Blackstone Adumaje, 37-year-old database administrator at the Electoral Commission, who was already on bail. The prosecutor, who failed to furnish the accused persons and their lawyers with disclosures as directed at the last trial date, attempted to apply for another adjournment to enable them finalize their investigations. Meanwhile, a lawyer for the accused in addressing the court said the prosecution is trying to blow a simple case out of proportion. He argued for fairness and justice to prevail and the trial be conducted within a reasonable time frame.
It's a presumption that the accused persons are presumed to be innocent. So once a date has been given for them to serve us with disclosures, and they have failed to do so, and considering the fact that the other accused persons on bail, it is right and proper that the others be also admitted to bail.
Okay, so two sureties, 20,000 Ghana cedis, report at the station once every 2 weeks.
Yes.
Are you confident your clients are able to meet this bail bond?
They will try. They should be in a position to. Yes.
Where do you see this case going?
We'll come to that. We'll come to that. We'll do our best. Once they're on bail, we'll sit with them. Then we'll discuss the possible or the good defense for them.
The case has been adjourned to June 5, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. at the Dansoman Circuit Court.
In other stories, the 2-hour downpour on Monday morning once again exposed how the country's capital has been engulfed with filth. Rejoice Semefakpesu takes us to Kwame Nkrumah Circle and Asylum Down, a suburb of Accra, for our filth exhibition series. Enjoy.
The heavens opened up, bringing forth nature's blessings upon the metropolis, cleansing the air and most importantly, reducing the heat. But amidst the raindrops was an unsettling scene. Mud, polythene bags, plastics, and food leftovers, exposing how filthy the country's capital is.
Normally, this is what we go through when it rains. You really find it difficult to even go to work.
Foster, who lives in Asylum Down, narrates the real challenge he was confronted with, having had to move around the neighborhood.
This morning, whilst I was going to work, I have to use the other side of the road because this place was flooded. I mean, even the cars, they were not able to use this lane that you see them using now. They were all using the overhead. There's a gutter just behind this building, and that's where the flood comes from, and that's where all this rubbish are coming from. So normally it is the rubbish that's gathered here that makes the water not to flow. So what we are asking of is the environmental protection people to come and make sure all the gutters are clean and are free so that the water can pass through it whenever it rains.
Ghazi wasn't shocked. He said this mess was the least expected.
Beside from where you stand with me here for up to Accra stand there, over here the coast too, the same thing. It download whenever the water value on the compound in the area, and the area is somewhere the coast water cannot pass. It always divert from both our yard here and dilute from the street both to the center zone here. It always flow somewhere the coast at Ganeshi Street here. When it flow and come to this center, it will flow enter here. Because this is the consumption road to Aveno, all the coast here is the same as you met here.
But in the moment of reckoning lies an opportunity for transformation, a chance to rebuild not just the physical infrastructure, but the collective spirit of a city striving to claim the title of cleanliness and sustainability in Africa. Semefakpesu's report read to you.
3 teacher unions in the 3 regions of the north have declared they will embark on a demonstration on the 8th of May in protest of government's delay in addressing their collective agreement. The group said it's part of their agenda to push government to address their concerns. The teacher unions have given the government a 1-week ultimatum to address their demands. Here's a report.
The Northern Region branch of the teacher unions are joining their counterparts across the country in protesting government's delay in implementing their collective agreement. Addressing a press conference in Tamale, the coordinating regional NAT secretary, Northern Region Cosmos Emu Unko, said government has up to 13th of May 2024 to address their concerns.
Friends, the allowances we have been battling over the past 15 years and counting were 17, and due to several considerations, we reduced them to 4. And these 4 are the deprived area allowance, extra assessment allowance, the book data online teaching support allowance, and upward adjustment of the CPD allowance. CPD means continuous professional development. Despite this gesture of good faith from the unions, the government is still adamant and has demonstrated bad faith. Pursuant to the above, we call on the employer once again to honor its promises and commitment to our teachers by addressing our concerns over the allowances enumerated above. We should also stress that we have had enough of the nonchalance, complacency, and aloofness of the employer and we does not countenance this situation any longer. Consequently, we are giving the employer up to May 13th, 2024 to address our concerns as enumerated above.
He said a demonstration is set on the 8th of May to further push government to rise to its feet to address their concerns.
And as of today, have not heard anything. So we expect that by Wednesday, we'll do it. But by Wednesday, if you hear, fine, that is a different story. Because the signal is that from last week Friday, as of today, we have not heard anything, meaning that we can continue with our demonstration. So if by Wednesday, we don't hear anything, we continue. The year that the government has failed to honor its promises. So we don't know whether it's election year or no, we don't know that. But we started this negotiation some months back. The collective bargaining expired since 2020. Was 2020 election year? I'm sure we knew it was election year. So we left it. From 2020 to 2025 years, 4 years. So we are lending on it's overdue. So it's not by election year. We don't know what is election. All that we are looking for is the demands that our people should. 17 items, we have come down to 4. Are we not being magnanimous? 17, we have come 4. And 4, you are being dilly-dally. What do you want us to do again?
Still in the Northern Belt, the National Democratic Congress parliamentary candidate for Lambuisi, Professor Titus, has stated the rehabilitation of the Pina Dam in the Lambuisi constituency will be a game changer for the people. Speaking at a groundbreaking ceremony for the rehabilitation of the dam, he noted that the economic fortunes of the people in the area depended on the dam, and ever since its banks almost overflowed 10 years ago, the people have had to go through arduous times for better lives. Joy News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports that the rehabilitation of the dam is funded by former President John Dramani Mahama, and the duration of the contract of the job is 2 months.
The Bupale Dam, otherwise known as the Pina Dam, located in the Lambuisi district, was constructed over 3 decades ago. Its economic importance to the people over the years is immeasurable. It used to hold water all year round, enabling residents to use it for domestic purposes, dry season gardening, and also for the drinking of their animals. The situation is however different after the banks of the dam were broken following a heavy downpour almost 10 years ago. It is very dry, and one cannot spot a scintilla drop of water on it, thereby affecting the livelihoods and economic fortunes of the people. Paramount Chief of Lambuisi, Kuru Isaac Zenge Kazie Tangier II, in a meeting with former President John Dramani Mahama during a recent campaign tour of the Lambuisi constituency, lamented about the poor state of the Pina Dam, appealing to him to help rehabilitate it should he be given the nod in the 2024 polls. 2024 parliamentary candidate of the NDC in the Lambuisi constituency, Professor Titus Bayu, threw the light on the issue.
Our colleagues on the other side of the political divide came to this district and said they wanted to do one village, one dam. And the chief said, rehabilitate this dam for us. They went away. Came back again and said, Chief, give us a new place. We want to do one village, one dam. Chief said, I don't have any new place. Rehabilitate Pina Dam for us. They ran away. And when I was consulting around to find out one significant thing that we can do that can transform the lives of the entire constituency, this dam came up. I was looking for the best opportunity. And then we heard His Excellency was coming to visit. I had closed-door conversation with my father, the chief, and a lot of senior people within the district. And we wanted to commit His Excellency. So we planned that when he visited, we will let him pass here, see the dam in its current state, say something before going to the parade grounds. But time did not permit that. But when
chief put the request before him, and I added a word. He said one thing, and I want to paraphrase it. He said, Prof, will this dam let you win the election? And I said, Your Excellency, I believe it will be a game changer. And he said, if this dam will do it for you, if this dam will do it for you, and if this dam will truly help the people, then I'm not going to make a promise that they should vote for us. We will do it before the election. So while others will come and make a promise and don't deliver, His Excellency made a commitment on that day and has given all of us the marching orders to make sure that this dam is delivered.
Dr. Asa Akuna Abunkundugu is the engineer for the project.
We also talked to the community people, and we got to know that the road between Pina and Lambouché is always flooded when the dam is full. So after doing our analysis, hydrological and engineering wise, we realized that we could do a second spillway, because it's when the water is full and is going out, that is when the water will also be getting to the road.
Former Minister of Food and Agriculture, Alhaji Lemuna Muniru, now working as one of the aides to the former president, represented him at a groundbreaking ceremony.
So when His Excellency said it, he said, look, I don't want it to look like I'm bargaining, because these are my own brothers. I'm bargaining for their votes. I have to make sure that I do this. So long as God has given me the capacity to do it, I'll do it for them. If they decide to vote for me, we thank God.
Professor Tatius Bayu poured laudations and encomiums on the former president for funding the rehabilitation of the dam, assuring him of the victory of the NDC in the presidential and parliamentary elections.
Community members, let me remind all of us that before His Excellency made a commitment, I also told him something, and that was that in 2020, even though we lost the seat painfully, we gave His Excellency over 70% of the vote.
On that note, we bring the AM News to a close. Up next is the news review, and our guest is Dr. Wisdom Kofi Dogbe joining us for that segment. Stay with us.